Welcome back to the channel. All right, Kindred is one of the toughest defenders in the game. He's new, and the longer the fight goes, the more his abilities line up to absolutely destroy you, despite you thinking you were very close to victory. For every fight I'm going to show you in here, I'm going to use my 5-star rank 4 SIG 200. I took him up specifically for this video, and I will be using a 3-star maxed out champion. None of this 5-on-5, 6-on-6 duel where I'm like, go get him, fellas, and then you try it at home and it sucks. All right, we're gonna look at fights with some pretty good counters, and then my favorite, and then what to do if you have absolutely nothing but just the champion you've got on hand. Let's get to it. Okay, here's all the basic things you need to know when fighting Kindred. I will also tweet this out, so don't worry about taking the screenshot. You can just follow me and you can get this there. Also, in all of the fights, I'll go over the whys, but quickly, I want you to know so that way when we go into the fights, you understand what we're looking for and what I'm talking about. 1, learn the SP1 punish. I know the SP2 is easier and you can still get the pause, but I will show you why. You definitely want to know the SP1. It is critical. 2, contact is very, very bad. It makes the bugs come on you faster. Yes, you do need to hit him, but this does also tie into the SP1 punish. Again, I will show this to you. 3, do not make him use his heavy. Do not intentionally do it. I understand it can be part of getting the SP2, and that is so tempting. I will show you why you don't want this to happen. He basically goes into Dread Aura, he gets his bugs even faster. 4, I'm losing count. Have a special ready to go. This only applies if the Kindred is awakened, which likely he's going to be. You're gonna want that special ready to go at the end. Next, do not intercept with specials. Essentially, don't use Hercules if you can avoid it. Herc being Herc probably figures out a way to do it, but it's gonna get worse with Kindred. And then I can't emphasize this enough, learn the SP1 punish. I will show you. Let's get to those fights. Okay, we're gonna look at 5 fights. This first one, we're mainly gonna be focused in on the Infestation charges. I'm gonna explain to you how to fight him, do all this as we go along. The Infestation charges, you need to get a max of 50 before the Nightmare Outbreak kicks in. So you've got time because they inflict 1 at a time over 2.5 seconds. 1 Infestation charges happens when a buff expires. So your buff heavy champions probably aren't going to want to use, and Kindred has an ability to make those expire faster too. So not the best. Here's where I was talking about not hitting to block, because you're also going to get Infestation charge every time there's contact made. That's when he hits you, you hit him, or into the block as well. It'll come up later, don't worry about that. Then as a defender, if you intercept him with your specials, he's gonna gain 10. So essentially, they're trying to get you to not use Herc. And then here's the last part, and this is why punishing the SP1 is so important. The SP2 will also work, but we'll continue to show you why the SP1 is the one you really wanna nail. If Kindred is stuck while recovering from a special attack, Infestation charges pause for 8 seconds. I'll show you that in this one. And then they cannot be inflicted during that pause. Very, very cool. And then it is increased to 14 seconds against Spiderverse heroes, which is why we're going up against with Spider-Ham here. Or let's go ahead and start this here. And you're gonna see you can intercept him as normal. Now the SP1 punish, it is tough. It is very, very tight. It's gonna involve a dash back and then a full dash forward. You want to make sure you are holding block because he's gonna spit out those bugs at you and you need to block them. But you need to be that close in order to get the punish. Here we go, it should be coming in right about now. Don't worry, I'll explain that stun immunity later, but there it was. A nice dash back, you see all those bugs, you're dashing in, you block them, and then you're close enough to punish. And as you see, we're at 44 of those Infestation charges, but they're just spinning over and over and over because we've got that really nice pause. We've paused again, and you can just rinse and repeat. I'm not trying to say this is easy. In fact, I'm very much trying to make it clear that even though I now know that evade, I will still sometimes get the spacing wrong, or I will be so far left on the screen, I'll know I don't have time. It is very, very tight, and I think Spider-Ham's auto evade even saves me here, which is another thing I like about Spider-Ham. The other thing that we're gonna talk about, and we're gonna do this very quickly right now, Awakened Kindred is a significantly tougher fight than Unawakened. If Kindred's unawakened, you don't need to worry about this part, just pay attention to the rest because it still holds. But if Kindred is awakened, once per fight at 5% health, they're going to inflict a root passive, so you can't shrug it, for 1.5 to 6 seconds. That gets very, very lengthy. If this is triggered during an opponent's special attack, the root triggers when the special attack ends, regardless. You can't finish them with the special attack. Kindred is prevented from being knocked out while this root passive is active or attempting to activate. There's also a chance to put the Degen on you and have it have an increasing potency based on the missing health. So you need to make sure you have a special to finish Kindred off at 5%. I'm going to show you it's difficult. So Spider-Ham seems like a great counter up until now. And this is part of what I want to show you is you're going to see this here. There was Spider-Ham's instant evade saving me. It's really nice. I like it. And even then going unblockable. But because Spider-Ham does so much of their damage through the Porker Poppers, watch this. We're going to get Kindred to that 5% right there. I'm too far away. I don't have bars of power to finish him off. And I am now taking that increasing Degen. And I think I'm actually going to, I don't remember if we finished this fight. Okay, we do finish this fight off. One of the things to keep in mind is because I want these duels to be as realistic as possible, I'm using a stronger defender, a 5-star rank 4 defender over those 3-star champions. Because Kindred's Degen only increases with base attack, it seems significantly worse than when you're going in and you're fighting a 6-star Kindred with your 6-star champion. The Degen will still be bad, but it won't be as bad as what you're seeing in this video. I'd rather have it look harder than it is than easier than it is in a video like this. All right, moving on to our second fight. Now, this is another Spiderverse hero, which is going to give us that elongated pause time. You saw how well that worked out for us with Spider-Ham. Another thing I really like about Sparky, and this was brought up on the testing stream that we did, right? They're saying the learning how to fight, and a lot of the viewers are like, Starky's been great. Starky's also good because he's going to hit very hard, which is allowing you to save your specials potentially for the end of the fight when you really need them. Kindred does not have a massive health pool, so it's a little bit different from some of the big tanky defenders we're seeing elsewhere. The thing we want to look at in this fight is the Dread Aura. So when Kindred charges a heavy attack, they consume 30% of a bar of power to activate the Dread Aura for 6 seconds. That's its stun immunity I said we would get to. In these fights, Kindred will then fight more aggressively while Dread Aura is active, and Dread Aura is not affected by ability accuracy, so you can't turn this off with like a Falcon or something like that. As a defender, also, every 25% of max health Kindred loses, Dread Aura will trigger at no cost. So you're going to have to deal with this regardless. I believe it is 3 times during the fight, even if Kindred doesn't throw a heavy. Kindred goes stun immune, and infestations are inflicted at a 0.75 seconds, and the amount of charges inflicted is doubled. So this is significantly harder. So you're like, okay, what is this fight showing? And what I want to show you is here, because we're going to be building up our poise for Starky here to be hitting harder. The other thing to keep in mind is we're not going to hit Kindred because that would increase our infestation charges, right? Well, you just saw Kindred throw their special, but they didn't go into Dread Aura. And the reason is because they didn't have the power necessary to power up the Dread Aura. Remember that first line is that it consumes 30% of a bar of power. So that's another reason why I really like this, because we're getting stronger right now while Kindred is not. Kindred is not able to use their power to make this fight more difficult on ourselves. We can stun them when there's no telling you can't. You can go ahead and stun. And then Sparky's really great because Sparky has that really nice taunt. So we're going to make sure we get our special ones. We get some nice intercepts. I love the intercepts on Sparky. It feels so good to have them be powerful again. And then remember, Sparky's got that automatic evade. So this SB1 punish gets a little bit easier because remember what I said. You want to be far back. You're going to let those bugs come in and you want to hit block. You got to hit that block. Well, if you're blocking, Sparky might even auto evade it for you. You're not going to get that damage. And then you can see we're going to be able to go in here. Sparky actually saved me. I punished a little bit late. That's what I'm talking about. And we're going to be able to go in here, and because he's doing so much damage off of his combos, be able to go immediately into our special. When Kindred tries to root us, it doesn't matter. We've got that special one ready. I very much like Sparky as one of the best counters for Kindred in your standard fights with nothing else going on, no immunities needed or something like that. I just took Starky to rank 4 myself for my Battlegrounds deck because I want to be able to handle Kindreds when I face them. All right, now we're moving on to Mr. Negative. Seems like a really great counter for a couple of reasons, right? The potency of opponents' degeneration effects for Mr. Negative are reduced by 40% for each unique debuff they suffer. So if you're getting those unique debuffs on, that's going to help you out. And then there's the signature ability, right? While suffering from degeneration, Mr. Negative is going to be regenerating, but there's some other issues here. The other thing is, and I don't actually show it in this fight, and I apologize for that, but it is still there. And I want to make sure you can be that can be pointed out to you. Is If Kindred is stuck by a heavy attack, Nightmare Outbreak expires 70% faster. So right now, I've got that Nightmare Outbreak on me. I wanted to show you fights what it looks like. It's not good. This is like when you're fighting Omega Red or like, I guess, Bishop after the SP1. It takes a while to track down. If I had just parried and landed my heavy, then it would be expiring 70% faster, or I bet you could even get it with the heavy right here. Yeah, probably could have got it that way, which would be really smart with Mr. Negative and get that damage off. Now, Mr. Negative is gonna have that same problem that Spider-Ham had here, where we have a dot doing all of this damage for us. We need to get back to our SP1. Thankfully, we know how to do the SP1 evade. And as soon as we get the root on us, we are able to finish this off. So you saw some like good counters, right? We've seen the Degen resistance, we've seen the Spiderverse heroes. Now let's see an amazing counter. Doesn't have Degen resistance, but if you've got that SP1 evade down, you're gonna have a good time. Okay, this is gonna be a weird cut, I know. This is my first time trying to make a video like this, so bear with me. I do believe it's gonna be helpful, make me better at the game and you. I also remember that ability accuracy can prevent that root mechanic at the end, right? That last 5%. I know you've gotten a sense of punching the SP1 in the fight, and I will get you to the what to do if you have no one else, but there are some champions I could see you using that could reduce the ability accuracy, right? So one of them here, that she makes a lot of sense. Titania is very good for this fight with her haymaker mechanic. And remember, she's got the, I think it's a concussion, whatever, you know, the question marks there, the disorient. And you're gonna see that just no root comes up at all. And then because of the haymakers there, we were indestructible and we were allowed to go in. And I think Intimidate's a little messed up too, but you could see it work out there. I didn't want to show you the whole fight because I do want to get to everything. And then this is from this last Battleground season. Watch this, Gambit's got this really nice disorient or concussion off the SP2. The only thing with this is you're not, unless it's 100%, you can see it right there. Like I was kind of almost shocked, surprised at what had happened. There's that moment of waiting. And with Gambit, it's off the SP2. Now his is like, I think an 85 or 95%. So it's pretty likely to work. So you should be fine. With Titania, you still want to be comfortable because she doesn't get to 100% either. And then I tested this a lot with Falcon for this video, a lot. And I found the punish, for some reason, I think it has to do with Falcon's animations. The punish on the SP1 is very difficult. I actually couldn't get it. So I don't know if that is the route I would recommend. There's going to be other champions, like maybe Black Cat could turn this off or something like that. So there are other ways around to do this. But I did want to at least point out ability accuracy can prevent that root mechanic from even happening altogether. All right. Now this works out so well because remember, we've talked about this in my Shuri videos. When Shuri's buff first went line, I was like, this is a now top 5 tech champion. She's phenomenal. She's amazing. And I talked about, I showed this versus Warlock. Well, Kindred's come out since. Remember when we were talking about this, the infestation charges happen when contact is made. So you can see, look how much more slowly the infestation charges are building. They're just taking that 2.5 seconds that I talked about in the beginning of the video, right? Like I've said, that's kind of a lot of time. You're gonna have time. So Shuri slows that process down significantly. Also, she starts to be able to do significant damage herself, so that when Kindred's things are lining up, all his defensive threats, she's killing him anyway. It works out beautifully. I believe this was MSD that pointed this out when we were on stream. The other thing that I want to point out here is we are going to get Kindred finally to that SP2. So many, people want to push him to his SP2 because it is easier to punish. But I've been telling you, you want to get the SP1 down. Well, I think you're probably starting to understand why that is, right? Because in order to get a champion to their SP2, sometimes if the AI is just passive, it happens, but also it's going to require a lot of you blocking, shortening your combos, and letting them hit into your block. But then remember, every time contact's made, it's going to increase the infestation charges, which is what you don't want happening. Also, here's the other thing. The first and final hits of the SP2 inflict 5 infestation charges. So Kindred's building them while he gets there, then also is going to inflict more. And then if the Dread Aura is active during this attack, he's going to power steal 6% of a bar of power per second and gain 150% of that power stolen. So, and you're gonna see it happen. And we are just going to fortuitously push him to his SP2 and punish it. He's gonna steal our power, making it that much harder for us to have a bar of power when we really need it at that 5%. Let's watch this happen and you'll see it is a much easier punish, but these bad things can happen. So here we go. We just got an intercept. He's got the Dread Aura, so he's stun immune. You see our power being stolen. Fortunately for us, we were able to punish it, get him to that 5%, and we were able to get back to the special one in enough time to finish him off. Shuri is a good counter. To the best of my knowledge, there is not a pure counter for him in the game right now. Everyone can handle portions of Kindred, but you need to know his animations, you need to know his kit, you need to know his abilities. Now, let's say you're like, but Vega, this is all great. Thank you, this is good. But what if it's Battlegrounds, or what if it's War, or what if it's a quest, and I've got none of this? All my champions do contact attacks. I've got no Degen resistance, and I don't have a Spiderverse hero. Well, if you know the special ones, you can still do this. I'm not telling you it's easy, but I'm telling you it's possible. You know I love MCoC. I love MCoC. I've been calling him my spirit animal. He's my spirit champion. And here we're gonna go. All of our attacks are making contact. Look at the infestation charges just growing. But I know the special one evade. I know the punish. So I've got the pause down, right? And I've got the pause, and we're just getting it sitting there at 18, and we're just gonna keep going. Additionally, Kindred has a ton of immunities, one of which is Incinerate. So we're not even gonna be able to get that source of damage from MCoC. So I wanna show you, this is possible. It's just very tricky. You need to get the SP1 punishes down. I cannot emphasize that enough, and the why, but I'm sure you understand that now. But if you get that all going, you got a chance to survive, and you got a chance to get probably a decent score in Battlegrounds. Here, so we've got our back going and all that good stuff. He's getting close to that 50, so we're trying to get this done. We got him pushed to the SP2. It just happened by good luck for us. We got the punish at 49. If he had gotten to 50, this would be a different ball game. We'd have to wait it out, but we're gonna get down. I chose not to throw any specials because I wanted to save the SP3 if he gets 5%. He got it. He then gave us that passive route. We can't do anything about it. Throw the special 3, finish the fight. 1, MCoC is amazing. We know that. But 2, if you don't have a perfect counter, you don't have a Spiderverse hero, you don't have Degen resistance, you can get this done. Remember all the tips. I'll have that posted on Twitter, so you can go and check it out. You can get the screenshot size very easily there. Let me know if this helped. I hope it did. It was very helpful for me. I feel much more confident going in and fighting these Kindreds. I now know a variety of avenues and how to do it. And most importantly, I now know how to fight him even if I don't have a great counter. He's tough enough as it is. And even if you know how to fight him, it can go sideways. But at least now you're prepared, you're armed, you're gonna be able to handle them. Let me know what you think we got right. Let me know what you think we got wrong. And if you know more counters, put them in the comments. We're gonna put that, because there's gonna be more comments coming out, more champions coming out. I know Tiger can be very good against him. Let's help people out. Let's go out there and beat Kindred. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.